Hello and welcome. My name is Nilaus. This is finally here. Factorio version 0.17 is finally here, and I'm sure we're all just clicking away trying to figure out what's going on. So I thought this would be a great chance for me to do a very rare thing that I do, but a top 10 list of what I think are the most important and interesting new features of the game. So let's actually start somewhere. And let's start with actually where we would start a new game. Let's just go in here. I mean, this one has changed. We just need to get used to this light color, but let's go in here and this, you will immediately see that this is different. The first new feature is the improved map generation. I think this is very interesting. They have now sliders here for frequency. Also pre-selected here. These are the Death World Marathon. That's going to be nice, right? Ribbon World Island Maps is a new setting here, and then you can go over here on the terrain. Very nice to see here. You can again just see, is it the map type is island or normal map? It's going to be really interesting to see if we look at the islands. Here the map is generated. Funny how it seemed to slide the opposite way of what I think it would. Okay, so that's a pretty big island. Cliffs connectivity. Always turned it. Oh really? I can't really turn it off? No, less. But if we turn it up here, it regenerates. You can see how many cliffs there actually are. 100%. And if we go over to trees, water, moisture, terrain type, 600%. And turn it down. The bias. Just trying to figure out what it does. I think it should be sliding in order to show the different types of. Let's get it back to about 100. And on the enemy, we also have this enemy bases. So instead of this richness of bases, we can see how frequency and sizes. Starting area size, we can give ourselves more space. We have here again, much simpler enemy expansion. Yes, no. Sorry. No, yes. Evolution, do we want them to evolve? Of course we do. And then basically time factor and destroy factor and pollution factor. I mean, this is trying to make it much more intuitive. Over here we have some interesting things as well. Technology research queue availability after the game finishes. So you can actually do queuing of research after it is finished, or you can do it always. It's very interesting to see that they seem to have added this as well. Pollution, how much pollution absorption is. So it's very easy to see how they're all possible. Okay, and we have the map preview over here. Water, let's try scaling this one down. Is it the same map? Or does it regenerate the map entirely? Oh, it looks like it's basically zooming in. Right, so if we zoom in here, as we zoom out, this one keeps being there, but the whole scale of all the rest, see this one gets, I mean, respectively smaller. Anyway, so there's a lot of options here. So that's definitely, in my opinion, the big #1 feature. If we're now loading a new game or loading an old game, this is where I did some testing for our science packs. So you can see here what happens. So there are a lot of things that are changed. There are some things that are removed. Some technologies that are changed. So items that are changed. Raw wood. Interesting. It's just been turned to wood because it's not really raw. It's just wood. And the changed science recipe. We'll get to the details of this. But the first thing that I want to take as my feature #2 is the high resolution science. Let's actually take this alt out of here. So you can see here the belts are looking nicer, the power poles are looking nicer, the UI looking nicer, everything is looking a lot nicer. So some of these units, it does take a bit of getting used to compared to what we've been looking at previously, and I'm sure there's some items that still need to be upgraded here and there. But all in all, we can see here, and we can also look at this one. The new rocket facility looks absolutely amazing. And here we have some small chests that look amazing. So pretty much pretty much all entities have been upgraded and look much nicer in the new version. So I would highly recommend that you take a look at that. So that's, for me, the improvement number 2. The improvement number 3, that to me is the biggest one, is the one that I showcased in my... It is the recipe, science recipe. This is the reason why it's so valuable. It breaks all existing bases, which is awesome, because then it gives us an opportunity to try again with a new base, and that's the awesome bit. So you can see here, the red and green science has not been changed, but blue science has changed. It is 24 seconds. That's actually interesting. Here we have the science, that one. Yeah, so. Already reset. Yeah, it's green, obviously. That one somehow is not green, but we'll just leave it as it is. Let's see what happens when it's done research. Yep, that's the same. Okay, so here this takes 24 seconds, but it generates 2 chemical plants, and those are different. The military science is different because it uses the new high resolution walls, looking very nice there. And very interesting as it is, we have our production science here. It's also changed, making a lot more sense. I really love the fact that you're in productivity modules. This science is absolutely insane, and I can only recommend that you focus on getting this later on. But we're not going to go into details of how, but just simply saying this means that every single one of our bases will need to be redone. Awesome. Start a new base instead, which is what I will do. For me, the next thing that's going to be really interesting, and that actually that requires another game to look at, but that is the biters. The biters have also been changed. That's going to be really interesting. So let's take a look at that. All right, here we are. We are taking a look at the new biters. Look how cute they are. We are just in our final factory base, and we are bombarding the living daylights out of these poor biters. And look how cute they are. They're gathering up in groups. It's very nice, very interesting. And then some of them coming out. Look how gross they are. They're just absolutely disgusting. Ugh. Look at that. That's a nice big group here. And they're forming up to be more part of a group. Let's see what's really interesting is what happens when they actually... Yeah, I'm not being very nice to them. But it's very interesting how they've gotten a lot better AI. So they're forming up in groups, and then you can see here when the group is apparently big enough, then they decide to move out. And you can see they're still moving out here. So we're really looking forward to them coming in. These were just flashing, so there was something coming in. Oh, look at that. It just spreads out the purple blood. This is awesome. I'm looking so much forward to blasting more biters. Here they come. Look at them. Let's see what they look like when they attack. Oh, and the lasers look amazing, and they are actually kind of annoying, but yet they still die. Let's see. So these seem to be like random ones coming in. And of course, the blue ones don't really stand a chance against lasers. That is to be expected. But let's see what they usually did when they came in was actually at this distance, they usually broke up and then went in single file. They don't. They do still have that tendency to break up, but they're looking so much better. I'm really looking forward to it, having nightmares about biters. So that's going to be awesome. And I just somehow find myself outside the base. What we can then say has not been done, so they have not been considering me, is that the car does not drive in a straight line. I thought it would actually have been fixed so that it can. Let's not kill ourselves in a tutorial video here. I want to just show you how driving on the roads look like. Something that has not been improved or not been added for me. Look, I still can't drive in a straight line. I don't think it's just me. It is impossible to drive in. Yeah, okay. I hit a power pole. Thank you. We know who's doing this. Okay, so that was the biters. Next one. Let's have a look at one of the next features. The car is still working. Now let's look at one of these really cool features. You've been noticing it the whole time, but I wanted to just take it in order of priority for me. The blueprints are absolutely insanely interesting. You now have this alt mode, which is, I don't know if alt mode should be the right name for it, but this triggers things on and off. Oh, are they overwhelming us? Oh, they actually are. That's Yeah, okay, biters might be more dangerous than they used to. Oh my god, they look so good. Destroying my base. They look absolutely amazing. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. Real fun. Anyway, back to back to this part. There's now a copy function, so you can take a piece, copy it, and then you immediately have a blueprint. This is so nice. And then you already have a blueprint. You can paste it, and you can keep pasting it as you see fit. You can also cut things. So take this out and place it there. That is basically how you would move things. You know, let's just cut it. And of course the usual hotkeys work. So basically this is what happens when you build something and you find out that it's one tile off. You're like, oh damn, control X, I would imagine, and say, this thing. Just needed to move it one tile over, then I'm happy. And of course, because they are trashable items, they disappear the second I touch them. That's it, but the robots will work. So that's really interesting. They have new feature of the blueprint book. The also very interesting, the undo button. Look at that. Undo and place it again. So you can keep undoing, but it will undo in terms of commands. That is really interesting. I'm sure this is something that we need to get used to. I wonder if we can redo. There's no redo function. Okay, so that was the intuitive blueprint. I think that's really good. There's also like blueprint book, and there's a new way of importing, and there's an upgrade planner included. So that will immediately just take, okay. I think that's interesting why they make, oh, they mark for upgrades by me or by the, okay, so the robots will come in here and let's see if they upgrade it. Yes, okay, so they have a new icon for upgrade plan. This is absolutely insanely awesome. I wonder why it's not down here. Then we have something that's really strange, in my opinion, like this. Toggle personal robot on off. Maybe some like it. The exoskeletons. I don't know why anyone would want that, but I guess you can now toggle that on and off. That's the upgrade planner. Okay, so it's green here, but it's yellow. It runs. Very interesting options we have here. Okay, so let's have a look at the next thing. Oh, toggle it on. Aha, works. The next feature that I find really interesting is the new train UI, because we like trains. Let's take a look at one of the trains that actually have a schedule. Let's take this one. It's going to look very different. At first it was really confusing, but this is really cool. So this one counts up to 30. Let's actually hitch a ride on this train and just see what happens as it goes in. And so now you can see how this condition is green. This condition is not green yet, but as soon as it turns green, boom, it starts going towards this one because this is the next open one. And this one has the condition. So it works really, really well. You can also add waypoints. I haven't really figured out how to do that, but I'm sure we'll figure that out eventually. Toggle station names, we can center and we can look up here. We can also jump to the map view of this location if we want. So that if we are looking at our train, we can now see where it's heading. We can select, okay, well, or we can look at it from other trains. So if we need to know this train and zoom on it, get out, and then we're at the location. Also the map view we're looking so much better. I mean, everything just looks so much crisper. I still don't like it without the alt mode on, but that's just a personal preference, I suppose. So now the next option, or the next feature that I find sort of in order of priority, is the UI. Here we can see we have quite a lot. So if we take this one, we can then take number 8 instead. This is a great way to illustrate, okay, what do we want to have? Do we maybe want a number 5 that's full of military items? So here I want grenades, and I want these, and I want, I don't know what else. I mean, maybe some laser turrets and something else. Repair packs. like that kind of thing. But I don't want that available all the time. So I'm going to keep this one for crafting, and then when I'm going out to hunt some biters, I'm going to take these two, for example. Now it's just a bad example, but this makes it really a lot more flexible in terms of what you want. So you can, in the beginning, you'll probably have belts. Maybe you'll have number 1 with your yellow belts and number 2 with your red belts, and so on and so forth. And that's going to make things a lot easier over time to build it. I'm sure that this will also evolve for people to have sort of a default thing. The interesting thing is these are not items. These are pointers, so they point basically saying I have 300 in my inventory, and when I click here, I'm just going to grab one from my inventory. I'm not going to actually take one from the toolbar. So I can also have things like a car, which I obviously lost because you know who's playing. The car is not there, but I still have it in my toolbar, and when I pick one up, I'll have it. You still have this option of using the middle mouse button to highlight things and just click here and think I want for some reason that one in here. So I think that's going to be really interesting, something that takes a bit of getting used to, but I think it's going to be a nice feature set as well. Does X still swap them? Yeah, X still swaps them. Okay, so that was the UI toolbar improvement. Then the next one is the revamped recipes. There are a number of recipes that are a bit different, and I think that's a good move that they changed it. So you can see here, this one now requires iron sticks. That's a good move. Let's check, this one assembly machine requires steel. So you need steel before you can get assembly machine 2. That's a bit interesting. That's a bit scary in some regards. That means you must get a steel a bit earlier than you're used to in your early game. Got to change some things there. They're also here, obviously, but this one requires iron sticks. So again, you need more iron sticks to build this. And what else is there? Like the equipment. Some of these things like portable solar panels. You will see that this one, no, you can't see it here. Oh yeah, maximum output power output 30 kilowatts. Yay! Instead of the 10 before. So it's 3 times more effective, and I think it says in the patch note that it is more effective, which is nice. And also things like low density structures have been changed as well, which we obviously don't have because that's a separate research. That one we don't have it because we apparently don't have blue science in this case, and none of the science works because this base is not working. But let's have a look at the science here. It now requires 20 copper plates, 2 steel, 5 plastic. My intuition says this is going to be changed, because what this means is that in the late game you will be using an absolutely insane amount of copper compared to the need for iron, because iron is used a lot more for infrastructure like belts and power poles now. Oh, you managed to get that one. Nice. But you probably won't be able to get the next one because that requires blue, and we don't have blue unless we have those stored up. Okay, we have a few stored up. So my suspicion is that these 20 copper plates is going to be somehow nerfed eventually, because otherwise there'll be, early game it's going to be maybe 3-to-1 copper iron to copper, and late game my expectation would be 3-to-1 copper to iron, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense in my opinion. But well, we'll take a look. This is just a hunch, so don't pin me to that. Also, we have coal liquefaction has also been changed quite significantly. You can see here it takes 25 in, and it used to produce 10 heavy oil and something else. But now it produces used to produce 35 heavy oil, which was net 10 heavy oil, but now it's a lot more heavy oil. So this one is interesting in that it produces much more heavy oil than it used to. And that's something we're gonna have to figure out what that means for us. Okay, we now have this one, the low density structures. So you can see some of these recipes are changed. It's going to be very interesting to see how that changes the balance of the base, how many belts are to a bus, what we're gonna need. And then there are also some very interesting, that's feature number 8, and feature number 9 is actually, oh, I don't have belts in this one. So we're just gonna have a look. This is a fast transport belt, that's a red one. And this is now speeding up at 30 items per 30 items. And we also had some, I think we had some yellow belts up here. Yellow belts. I don't know if we have some blue belts. Let's take a look at these yellow belts. Here, they're 15 items per second. These are 30 items per second. And lastly, we have these as 45 items per second. That's going to make the calculations a bit more easy. And to top it all off, we also have these are now different. Let's have a look at it in here. The crafting time is now 3.2 instead of 3.5. So again, that's something to balance this out. And also here, steel plates now take 16 seconds instead of taking the previous 17.5. And it's really nice because calculations that involve 17.5 second craft time and 26.67 items per second were not exactly intuitive. We got used to it, but it's not really logical or something you just do napkin math. So I think that's a good move. And then the last one is this item is suspiciously empty. This used to be where we had our pickaxe. We no longer have a pickaxe. Do we now have a research? We have a research called Steel Axe, which is increased mining speed. But that means we don't need to suddenly run out and see ourselves in the middle of nowhere without a steel axe. I wish they had like a better axe as well, so we could get even faster. Oh, and there's one more thing. Can't reach. Can't reach, can't reach, can't reach. Can reach. That's crazy, right? This is... Yeah. Then let's do a copy of that thing. No. Copy of that thing. Yeah. So let's have this. I don't know why I did that like that. This is a good measuring tape. No, it's not. So which one can I hit? All the way up. See? That one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Feels like I can reach. That has been improved. That's a massive improvement. Copy. That's not copy. That's going to happen a lot. There. Okay, so that's all of the new features that I found that I find the most. There are tons of new things, and it's really exciting. So we're definitely going to be doing a lot. I'm going to be streaming a lot of the new Factorio on as soon as possible, as much as possible for the next while. And I'm also going to start a new series here on YouTube with just a focus on building a nice clean base for version 0.17. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you are enjoying it. I hope you will find it interesting, and I hope that you will be watching my future episodes here on YouTube and maybe also dropping by on Twitch. Thank you very much, and see you then. Bye.